What's up people, Shipra here and I have OnePlus X with me, which is a mid-range smartphone straight from the house of OnePlus. The packaging comes up with a OnePlus X smartphone, quick start guide, user guide, SIM tray ejector tool and a tangle-free micro USB cable, 2 mAh charger and in addition a protective case as well. Now OnePlus chose not to use USB Type-C port like OnePlus 2 on this one for obvious reasons. The power button and volume rockers can be seen on the right side, which is accompanied by a tray for SIM cards. You'll see two slots that fits either 2 nano SIM card or 1 nano SIM and 1 micro SD card, which can be expanded up to 128 GB. The left side has the alert slider just like OnePlus 2. I found it to be very useful. You can change ringer profile with just a flick of a switch. You'll see 3.5mm audio jack and secondary mic at the top, whereas dual speaker grill and micro USB 2.0 port for charging at the bottom. Above the 5-inch display, there is 8-megapixel front camera, earpiece, proximity sensor and LED notification light at the right corner. Below the screen is home for capacitive touch buttons and those are literally invisible. The company has used metal and glass all around. The phone features Gorilla Glass 3 protection at the front and fire-baked scratch-resistant glass finish at the back. Pretty premium but at the same time slippery too, and it falls easily if you place on a bit curvy surface or lap too, and since chassis is made of aluminum, it gets damaged easily. The back is smudge free to some extent, but you will find yourself wiping out the display quite often. You probably won't see the fingerprints much on the white color variant of OnePlus X, but they were quite visible on this black color device. But here comes the metal frame to give it a perfect grip. Weighs at 138 grams, phone feels pretty nice in hand. And its 6.9mm thickness makes it pretty sleek and perfect for one-handed operation. The device sports 5-inch 1080p AMOLED display which is well protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 3. The viewing angles are pretty good. The display has been one of the most battery hungry part of any smartphone, and AMOLED displays are easier on your battery, so is the case with OnePlus X. It has a dark mode that shows true black because there is no backlighting and helps in staying juiced up longer. Color saturation is too sharp at times. Also, the performance was a bit compromised when used under direct sunlight. But overall, it is an excellent and vivid display to look at. But it is sad to see hardware front which runs old Snapdragon 801. Yeah, the same we saw in OnePlus One I guess. But coupled with Adreno 330 backed up by 3 gigs of RAM, OnePlus X performs flawlessly and could handle plenty of app shuffling, gaming and browsing without skipping a beat throughout the time I used the device. When I played graphic intensive games, it was able to give glitch-free experience. However, the phone gets heat up a little after using for a while, but considering its entire glass build, this issue can be ignored. Overall, device runs fairly smooth and handles almost everything you throw at it. While the phone features 16 gigs of internal storage, out of that you get around 11 GB is available to use. The phone has an option for expansion up to 128 GB. Seeing day-to-day usage option is pretty good. OnePlus X runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop out of the box with its own custom Oxygen OS UI. That is pretty much close to stock Android. The UI is reasonably responsive and doesn't feel sluggish. It is entirely free from bloatware except only a few noteworthy additions. SwiftKey keyboard is one of them. Practically, I liked it more over Android's default keyboard. There is no backlight on capacitive touch buttons. You may find them a bit difficult to access, especially in the dark. However, you get an option to switch their functionality. Also, you can enable on-screen navigation button to avoid such situation. However, I chose to stick with the physical buttons. Each button can perform different actions on long press and double tap. Literally make things faster, and like many others, you get few gestures in OnePlus X too. You can catch an overview of latest notification as enabling ambient display wakes up screen when you receive notification. So So you don't have to press the power button to see the clock or notification. Just hover your hand over the display and proximity sensor will wake up your phone automatically. Shelf. That's what OnePlus calls it. Now talking about camera, OnePlus X has a 13 megapixel rear camera with f2.2 aperture and no OIS. Consequently, it is very tough to take good shots in low light. There are HDR mode, beauty mode and clear image mode to take better images in different situations. HDR is capable of taking decent shots in tricky lighting conditions, whereas using the clear image mode adds desired sharpness and clarity. Using in daylight, it produced few great shots. Sharpness and details were just blended perfectly, but you'll spot colors fading in few shots. Selfies were okay with an 8 megapixel front shooter, enabling beauty mode overcome blemishes and lets you capture great selfies. It can record 1080p videos as well, so 4K video recording is missing. Overall, mediocre performance from the camera, not as expected. Audio which came in through earpiece was loud and crisp. If you are expecting too much, you'll be disappointed as when it tested, it could perform just above average. Now this is a mono speaker, so the only left side of the speaker grill produces sound. Speaker was failed terribly to generate crisp audio when played at full volume. Now regarding connectivity, phone features Bluetooth 4.0, LTE dual SIM support, Wi-Fi and microSD card expansion. Sensor front has accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and ambient light sensor. The phone comes with non-removable 2525 mAh LiPo battery. When used as my primary device, it lasted for 8 to 9 hours. That includes checking social media feed, music, few calls and browsing. The battery drain during games was a bit unnatural with a 20% drain in 20 minutes of continued gaming. Seek the properties of AMOLED display, it tried to manage its battery but not very well optimized. Talking about the price, you can get it from Amazon at 16,999 INR and ceramic back model at a bit higher price of 22,999 INR. Now summarizing my overview, it looks delicate, feels premium, comfortable while holding and rocks in terms of performance. I won't say that it is a complete package of beauty along with specs, as it misses NFC, 4K video recording and OIS in the camera to cut down the cost of course. Well, all these flaws makes the device hard to recommend, but the phone is absolutely hard to resist for those whose priority is not a 5.5-inch screen but elegant and premium looks with the performance and the decent price. This is super budget smartphone with appealing design, sleek form factor and specs. Thanks for watching this video guys. Stay tuned for our upcoming reviews. I'll talk to you guys in next one.